Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your sneak peek for the week. How you doing, friends? I hope you're well. Thanks so much for clicking here. I appreciate you on this very last day of Aquarius season. It's been kind of wild, huh? Welcome to the eclipse season, and we had a new moon in Aquarius as well, right? So I hope you're well. Thanks for showing up here. If you're brand new, welcome. If you're coming back because you do that, then thank you so much for coming back. I have 12 decks to my left that I'm going to read from, and I'm going to read a little bit from each one of those decks for each sign of the zodiac. And then I'm going to mark everything down below in the description so you can just click on whatever time frame you're looking for, or you can scroll this video if it works on your particular device. And you can just find whatever energies you need. I'm just going to ask you to please stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. It's really important that you know what your moon and your rising are, because your sun sign really isn't who you are. Your moon and your rising is what influences the sun. So why, there's so many different Aquariuses, right? Why are you different from another? Because of your moon and rising. So even if you don't have your particular time of birth, which is optimal, even if you don't have that, you can find a free natal chart. If they ask you if you've been born in the AM or the PM, it'll give you a rising sign as well, a roundabout rising sign. So we're going to do this, and I do this once a week, so thanks for stopping in here, and then we'll get to some weekly reads after this. I do have private reads open, caught up. If you're interested in the private reads, please look at the pinned comment. That's where all the stuff goes down, anything that you need to know that's going on currently on the channel. And if you are interested in that, please know that there is a sale going on currently with the live reads, 5 to 75% off when you book in advance. And I check my schedule on Hipsy to know when I am available for live reads, but I do pre-recorded reads as well, and so those are quite a bit more reasonable. Start at $25 and go up from there. So check the link and my pricing, and hope to see you there. Let's get to it. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries. All kinds of hubbub going on in your sign, right? All this new fresh energy for you, Aries, my fire family. Let's find out what is going on for you, friend, in the next 7 days. That's what I read for, the next 7 days for sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. So this reading is not just for the sun signs. I know you want it to be, but it's not. Tell me about Aries. What's going on in the next 7 days for Aries, please? Aries, we've got the Queen of Wands. You're standing out there pretty bold with an empty bucket saying, I'm going to do what I want. What's going on here? We've got the Ten of Swords. Ooh, zero fucks given, friend. That's what it feels like here. The Ten of Swords is here with the Queen of Wands. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to throw out the match there, and whatever burns, burns. It feels like you're burning bridges, getting rid of old cycles, removing old energy, releasing some things. It feels like some people are going to be unhappy with you, but the Queen of Wands doesn't care about that, whether you're the masculine or feminine Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands doesn't care about how other people feel. She's going to do what she's going to do because she's independent. We've got the Six of Swords. Yup, you're just moving on from it. You know what I feel, Aries? That there's probably somebody who hurt you, or you feel like it was a betrayal. Somebody here maybe lied to you, possibly. I feel like you've been spending far too much time in your head thinking about that betrayal or the way someone treated you. And I feel like it's time for you to break away from that. That's what it feels like. Back to stability, back to standing up for yourself. You know what it feels like? That you are finally with, I'm going to say a velocity, moving forward from something that you've been hanging on to for a long time. And I'm talking about something in the mind. So it feels like somebody betrayed you, like with the Ten of Swords. There was a harsh ending that happened here. But I also feel like you could be the one who ended it, because the Six of Swords is here. The Seven of Wands is here with the Six of Swords. So it tells me that that you wanted clarity of the mind, or you wanted to go to a calmer place, and so you stood up for yourself. I think you may have said something to someone here, Aries, that possibly it's like you called somebody out, I'm going to say. And it could have been a Leo, a Sagittarius, or an Aries. It could be an air sign. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We've got The Six of Wands, yeah. You put a spotlight on something here. You know, when you come from the Six of Wands, which is Dark Night of the Soul energy, because you're coming back from the war or the fight, People are behind you now, cheering you on, wanting to see you have the best. I feel like that you've come back from a place that was a really hard cycle. And I feel like there's like this extra fire that you have right now, which is I'm standing up for myself and I'm going to burn that bridge. I'm going to burn the whole place down, as AJR would say. I think you're just like, you know what, I'll just burn the whole place down. Don't even try me. That's the energy I'm getting from you right now. From this read, we do have the 8 of Wands. So I called it out here, right? The 1 and the Queen. When I said velocity, I was talking about the 7 of Wands and the 1 and the 8. So I feel like that there is a very big, forceful push forward away from something that was upsetting you possibly, or felt really terrible. Like felt like somebody that you trusted, possibly someone that you trusted, really hurt you. You've got the High Priestess here. So I feel like you're quiet about it. I don't feel like you're going out in a hail of glory. I don't think that's what's going on. I feel like you just back away. You back away slowly. You stop contact. You stop answering texts. You block somebody. It feels like you've decided to just pull away, and that was it. Or maybe the fact that somebody is silent with you or pulled away from you is the reason that you decided to just move forward and stand up for yourself and burn that bridge. Maybe you're just over it. Maybe you're done. It could be that somebody pulled away from you and you're like, you know what? I'm not chasing that thing. No thanks. Somebody here is remaining silent, though. I want to say that it feels like somebody's moving forward because of silence, or because their intuition is like, you know what? Just drop this. Drop that. They were never on your side. They were never part of your 6 of Wands. They never wanted to see you do well. They didn't want to see you have any success. And maybe when you got too big for your britches, I don't mean that in a literal way. Like I feel like you didn't get too big for your britches. I feel like you caught some self-confidence and you're finally standing up and saying, you know what? I'm going to burn the bridge down. I don't really care. I'm not going to be the one stepping around things any longer. And I don't think that you've ever worried about confrontation, Aries, but I do feel that there is a spark within you right now that I feel that you maybe are, maybe some of you have lost the spark, or maybe somebody in your life told you, okay, it's okay. Just don't say anything. Maybe it was your mother. Maybe it was your father. Maybe it was your spouse saying, can you just not cause an issue and not say something and not be confrontational? I feel like somebody tried to dull your spark or ask you to be quiet. I feel like maybe you may have complied with that for a short amount of time, only for respect for the person who asked you. But I don't think you're doing that anymore. We've got the Page of Wands, we've got the 4 of Cups, and the 2 of Swords. Yeah, I feel like you decided, you know what, I'm making my own decision. This is not my comfort zone. When I see the 4 of Cups here with the Page of Wands, it tells me that somebody got very uncomfortable with what they had agreed to. And I think that you did it for the right reason, Aries. I don't think that anybody forced you. I think this was a choice you made to try and keep the peace with someone or something. And I think that you finally come to a place where you're in your 6 of Wands energy. Sorry, I gotta go. I'm not complying with anyone's wishes anymore. It feels like you made a decision which pulled you out of this place of stagnancy. But I really do feel like if you are the person who ended up remaining silent on a certain topic, that someone in your life may have asked you to do that for them. We've got the sun, yeah, and then the sun comes out. Look, when the sun comes out and all the dirty laundry comes out, you call it on the carpet, you call it for what it is, but I don't think you did it quietly. I have a feeling that you backed away quietly, but I have a feeling that, you know, it's like somebody walks in and puts the letter on the table and said, that came to my house, that's for you, and you know what's in that letter, and then walked out of the room. It feels like you a breakthrough, you put a little light on the subject, you make some sort of decision that I'm no longer keeping quiet in order to make you comfortable. Nope, that's not what I'm doing anymore. I feel like this sun has reignited your spark. And so I think old Aries has entered the building. So I don't know if somebody had asked you or drowned you out or asked you to dull your fire, but I think that you are back, Aries, and you're like, no, I'm not playing anymore. Tell me what the outcome is here. We've got the Ace of Cups. We've got the King of Swords. Okay. I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, but you need to sit down because I got something to say. The sun is here. When the King of Swords shows up with the Ace of Cups, it's like, look, you know that we've never had any heat, but now something's come to light that I need to talk to you about. You made a decision to get out of this place where you were being silent for someone else, and with velocity, you came back and said, I'd lost my spark, and you know what? My wife or my husband or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whoever it is asked me not to say anything about this, and I don't think that's suiting my what my needs are. We've got the Knight of Cups here. Yeah, I feel like with the King of Swords that you're cutting through some sort of illusion. I feel like you are calling someone out is what it feels like. You're calling someone out. You're no longer being silent about something. It's time for you to move forward and reignite your fire. It's like time for you to light the flame again. I want to say protect your fire. I'm looking at the Seven of Wands, but I do see someone here that's sort of cultivating the fire in the Four of Wands. So as for me in my house, I think this is what you're saying. I'm not putting up with your bullshit. Everyone else can if they want to, but I'm not doing that. Tell me about Aries. You're really in the fire energy lately, Aries. Tell me about that. I think you're in the, yep, no thanks. No thanks. This is who I am, and if you don't like who I am, I'm just going to have to walk through the fire. I don't care. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the Four of Wands. Oh, Four of Wands I was talking about right here. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Pentacles. Yep. So I think what you're doing is you're bringing things back to center. You're recalibrating. You're planning things. You're counting things. You're bringing things back to level. It feels like you're getting your stability. You're now walking upright. And it's not like you weren't before, but you know what I mean? I feel like somebody with the High Priestess asked you to stay quiet about something. I feel like you're reorganizing your house. Now that could be literal house, but I feel like your house is your life. I feel like you're reorganizing the house. The Four of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles here, you could be moving. Maybe you've decided to buy a house or sell a house, but it feels like this is a brand new you, I want to say, that you're finally calling things out as they are, as you see them. And if somebody has a practical way of explaining themselves, then I think you're going to listen. But other than that, I feel like this Page of Pentacles is telling me it's finally materializing. I'm getting it out of the mind and materializing it here in the 3D because it's time to take care of business here. We've got the Five of Wands. It's going to cause fights and arguments. Look at that. It's, you know what it is? I feel like somebody here has been stifled by someone you love. Like, I think that you did it out of respect. You did it out of not causing an issue in the family or in a friendship group. But it feels like there's been fundamental differences between you and another person or others, maybe a group, maybe you and the family for a while. And I think that you're ready to now just fight to the death. Like, it feels like you're in this Five of Wands, in this Five of Swords. Something's about to change quickly. What I think it is that you call somebody out and we have some words. Nine of Wands is here. It feels like you're done. Like, the Nine of Wands is here, which tells me you're in burnout. I'm no longer keeping my mouth shut. I'm now just going to tell you how I feel. All right. We'll start with that kind of fire, are we? So we've got... Oh, by the way, 2-5 showing up in your reading tells me, I think I said that something's happening super quick here. So we do have Leo energy. We have a big decision being made here. You're cutting something out in favor of something else. And quite honestly, I think what that is you're cutting out someone or something to stand in your shoes and say, no, I've got some pride here too, and this is what I'm going to be doing. We've got Cancer energy. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, and Pisces. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. More Pisces. Pisces shows up just to say it softly. Yeah, it does feel like with the Ace of Cups and the King of Swords, I feel like you are talking to someone that you either had a relationship with. Look, this could be a love relationship. I feel like you're cutting it out, being honest, calling something out, and saying, look, this is what I know now. You gotta retort for me. Do you have something you want to say to me? Like, it feels like you're kind of calling somebody out and saying, look, if you got to say it out loud because now is your time. All right. Tell me about Taurus. My bull gang, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me what is going on for Taurus in the next 7 days. Tell me about Taurus. Be reminded, Taurus, these readings are not just for Taurus Sun. They're for all of those other signs I mentioned as well. Tell me about Taurus, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. Well, Taurus, I'm stopping and saying well because it feels like somebody here is now stepping into their pre-Empress energy. It feels like you are getting things in order, I want to say. Getting things in order. You might be getting your bank accounts in order. You might be getting your life stuff in order, wills, and like it feels like this is your time to get stuff in order for your life, like maybe life insurance and wills and I don't think it's for any other. I don't think you're sick or anything. I think it's just that you're getting things in order. That's the information I'm getting from this card here, because you're confident enough to do it now. And we've got the Chariot. Yeah, things are going to move forward really quickly now because I feel like you're getting your finances in order. There might be a job coming. Maybe you're going to be getting a little bit more. Maybe you've gotten a bonus and you're distributing as such. It feels like you're putting an extra payment on something or deciding to recalibrate your finances for the year. It feels like something here is moving forward to success because of discipline. And when I see the Chariot is like discipline to keep the chariot on the road. And then it's with the 9 of Pentacles, it does feel like it's money or work or confidence. We've got the 5 of Swords. I think you're tired of I'm going to say for some of you, it could be the mental argument, but I think that you're tired of being caught off guard or being blindsided by things that come up in life that might be of a financial situation. It feels like the 5 of Swords and the 2 of Swords is 7, and it almost feels like a blind side for me because your eyes are covered, right? It feels like I knew that thing was going to catch up with me, but I ignored it. I ignored it as long as I could. I feel like you're no longer doing that because you're with the 9 of Pentacles, you're being really practical, Taurus. Practical with your money, time, effort, energy. You might be trimming the fat in terms of, people that you deal with. Maybe you've decided I'm not dealing with you anymore. Or maybe you're recalibrating your GPS when it comes to friends and family and money and how I disperse my wealth. That's what it feels like, protecting my wealth. Maybe you're reinvesting money or something like that. But it feels like this was something you didn't maybe have the capacity to do at the end of last year. And I think that now you've got the time, effort, and energy to do it. Look at that. We called the 7 of Swords out right away. Yeah, it does feel like that you're done with being surprised or blindsided by things that come back to haunt you here. And it could be just things you put on the back burner. The 8 of Cups in the reverse to me is the boomerang. It's something you threw out there and now it's coming back. And I'm not talking karma. I'm talking like something to do with your pentacle life. So it could be work, could be money, could be time, could be your health. Like maybe you've just ignored it for too long and now it's showing up again. And you're like, you know what? No more of this. I don't want to be blindsided again. I'm just going to make the decision. Maybe it's a hard decision, but I'm just going to make the decision, say something out loud. It might be somebody that you've been ignoring and not really talking with about a certain subject. Like maybe when you see this person, you guys avoid a topic because fundamental differences might be here between you and another person. It feels like you're balancing out everything. Yeah, balancing it out, right? Temperance is here. This is a time of healing for you, Taurus. I really do feel that for most of you that this is a time for healing for you. Temperance is here. Things that were off balance or that you were like, nah, I'll deal with that next week. Nah, I'll deal with that next month. I feel like those things are the things that are boomeranging back or coming back to you. But understand that I think you're catching them like arrows in the air. Like I feel like it's being shot at you and you're like, now I'm strong enough. I am capable enough. I'm now standing up and I'm organized enough to be able to catch those arrows in the air before they do any damage. That's what it feels like here. You're getting really solid in your stance on what's going to make you financially happy. Where do you want to put your energy? Do you want to give it to your family? What's really going to ultimately bring you joy, Taurus? You're not a sign whoever shies away from working too hard or overworking. And I think that that's what's going on here. It feels like you're really looking at healing healing something that has to do with your pentacle world here, because this is the year that you're going to be spending more time in the things that give you joy. That could be people, it could be situations, travel, it could be many things. We've got the Ace of Swords, and you're going to speak it out loud now. So maybe speaking it out loud for the purposes of manifestation, but also I think that you're just going to clue people in. No, I don't think I'm going to do that because that doesn't make me happy any longer. That's not where I want to spend my time, effort, energy, or money. I'm not going to do that. So I feel like you're unapologetically just being really clear with people, because now you have the clarity. And I think it might surprise some people, because you're not usually a sign that goes along to get along, but I do believe that I feel like you're being a lot sharper with your words, and just being very specific, I'm going to say. I don't think you're doing it to be angry or anything like that, but the page shows up with good news, right? So I feel like this is good news for you. It's going to make you a lot happier, but I feel like you're going to surprise some people around you that maybe you're a person who is like maybe on the fence about something. You're no longer on the fence. You're like, no, I'm not doing that with my time anymore. So you may have just been showing up to groups of things or doing things with groups of people that you were, because you didn't want to be lonely or you didn't want to be alone. And I think that this Ace of Swords is showing up with clarity, saying, you know what, there's so many good things coming in the future energy over here. So many good things coming up in the future that I don't necessarily need to attend all of the things that I don't want to attend. So I feel like you're making some really big decisions to hold back where necessary. That makes sense. I feel like you are shutting off and shutting down to some of maybe the social things or whatever it is. It feels like you're no longer doing the things that you don't want to do, Taurus. I think that's what's coming up in the next 7 days here, that you're sort of testing the waters, but some people are going to be shocked at your honesty, I'm going to say, because now that you've got clarity, you can pass that clarity on to others. What's the outcome here for Taurus? We've got the Magician in the reverse. You know what it is I feel like in order to keep the peace that maybe, you're a peaceful sign, right? Ruled by Venus. In order to keep the peace, I feel like you weren't calling out the manipulation. You weren't calling out the people who you felt were maybe talking to you or doing things with you, or it feels like you felt your time and energy was manipulated. We've got the star energy here, but I feel like you're now cognizant of it. You're aware of it. And I think you've decided you want to heal it. Yeah, because you want to be happier. It comes down to emotional happiness. Comes down to emotional joy, Taurus. I feel like that this year, 2026, is going to be different, because even if you release yourself from groups, people that you have fundamental differences with. And what I mean by that is, like, maybe you were going to a group of people and you enjoyed the group, except there was a few people there who really just rubbed you the wrong way. But in order to be included in the group and enjoy those other people, you didn't say anything about the fundamental differences. I don't think that you're doing that anymore, because the Ace of Swords is here. I feel like you're saying to the other people in the group, look, if you guys want to come out with me, the 4 of you want to come out, leave the other 5 at home. I don't really care for those people, and I don't really care for their views. And I'm not interested in fighting. I'm not interested in walking into a group where I got to defend myself all the time. So I feel like you're really taking charge and standing up in your shoes and saying, look, I got confidence in it and I don't need it. So if you want to be with me, hang out with me, whether that's romantic or platonic, then you're going to have to do that with me on the sidelines, because I'm not taking any more bullshit here. What's around the corner is the Queen of Pentacles. She's taking care of business. She's looking at money, getting things organized, organizing the year. The CEO of the Zodiac is here, right? So it's time to get things up on the level. It's time to plant the garden. It's time to think about planting the garden if you're in a place that has snow right now. It feels like somebody here is really on top of financial things, household things, children, family, cars, payments, things that have to do with money. I think you're really focusing yourself on the things that matter in your material world, and not just material things. But we have the 9 of Wands here, and I think it's because you've had enough. You're in burnout as it pertains to giving your time, energy, and efforts to people who don't deserve it, and who also are not who don't appreciate it. We got the Devil. Look at that. The Devil's in the reverse. I love it, because Devil in the reverse for me is always the release of doubt, the release of anger. I feel like this Nine of Wands is, I need to release this whole feeling burnt out because I'm trying to keep up with what everybody wants me to do. It feels like you're making decisions that are for you now. Ooh, look at that. And the King of Swords shows up. You're making decisions that are for you now. You're really organizing yourself and you're becoming the subject matter expert on you. So this is about self-mastery, right? And so I feel like you're releasing all the other things around you in favor of self-mastery. When the King of Swords shows up, it's because, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. And I know that you're probably not going to like this, but that's not my business. That's a issue, not an ishme. And I think that you're just like taking care of business. And you're doing it in a way as you're doing it with swords and pentacles. You're doing it in a very practical way, a very sterile way, surgical way. I feel like you're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but, because again, the Ace of Cups has shown up with the King, which tells me you're trying to soften the edges, but nonetheless, you're honest. And if people don't like it, then that's really not your problem, Taurus. I feel like you've got better things to tend your time to. And some of that might be like doing it alone. And I don't think you care because the Four of Pentacles is here. So we do have Capricorn energy and Virgo. We have more Capricorn energy. We have Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, more Aquarius. Cancer energy. The Magician was in the reverse. I feel like you're done being manipulated and being off balance because of it. And it does feel like manipulation when you don't want to do it and other people are saying, oh, come on, just this once. Can you just come to the group and just not deal with that person? That's such bullshit. Anyways, we've got Gemini and Taurus energy. We've got Sagittarius and Virgo energy. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. I think I said that already. All right, Gemini. Tell me about Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini. The next 7 days for Gemini. Talk about the next 7 days for Gemini. Tell me about Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Nine of Wands. Tell me what's going on because of the Nine of Wands. We've got the Queen of Swords. So, Gemini, I feel like you've had enough. I feel like you've had enough with something, a situation, or a subject. It feels like when the Queen of Swords shows up with the Nine of Wands that I've had is more than I can take. I'm burnt out with the conversation, with the ideas that you're giving me. I'm just finally going to use my swords to stand up and say what I believe, what I'm thinking. The Queen of Swords isn't doing it to ruffle feathers, right? But the Queen of Swords is also someone who is not going to say it apologetically. This is someone who's going to say it without emotion. Look, I'm kind of done with whatever it is that you're doing. I'm not interested in that anymore. And by the way, here's the actual truth, whether it bothers you or not. I just need to liberate myself from the Nine of Wands. It doesn't feel good. We've got the Six of Wands. So it does feel like you have been through something. It's like a reckoning or, because the Six of Wands is now people are around you and cheering you on and success is in the future. But I think success for you comes from this Queen of Swords energy. Just being really honest and truthful about, you know what, I'm kind of over it. I'm over it or I'm over you. It feels like the Nine of Wands has something to say. We've got the Nine of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, unapologetically. You're not going to worry about what other people think of you. In fact, we got the Nine of Swords and the one in the hand of the Queen is the 10th sword. It feels like the reason that you're speaking is because you've decided, I'm not going to worry about how they perceive me anymore. I really don't care how they feel. What I care about is I don't want to be in this burnout energy anymore. I don't want to be in this place where I'm just about ready to bust. Like it feels like you've been like biting your tongue or not saying something about something. I feel like this is going to be your success, not only for the next 7 days, but I think this is going to be your success this year is by saying things eloquently, right? Because that's who the Queen of Swords is. Saying things eloquently, honestly, truthfully, but not really caring the way it lands for other people. Tell me more about the Nine of Wands. We've got the Hierophant energy. Okay. I think you've made your decision about something that you've decided to dig your heels into the ground with. It feels like you're immovable on some sort of idea or thought pattern or something that you're about to say. It feels like you've got like a conviction, or maybe you've got a certain way of thinking, maybe a spiritual way versus a religion, or religion versus spirituality, or whatever it is. It feels like you are immovable. You've made this decision that I'm no longer going to be in burnout by listening to people's bullshit. I'm not going to spend my time doing that anymore. The Five of Wands is here. And if they expect that they're coming to me to try and win some sort of fight, I'm going to give them a fight. It feels like a fight of words. I feel like this Hierophant energy is standing on business. Don't come here and tell me in my house what to do. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. It's the defiance of Taurus energy. Now, the Hierophant is here, and that's always the person listening to the higher self, but it also is like, you know, the Hierophant is up against a tree here because of the immovable roots. And this isn't a young tree. This is an old tree with a lot of branches that's been growing for a while in wisdom. It feels like this Five of Wands tells me, you're not inviting anyone to test you. Don't test me. I know what I want. I know who I am. I know what I believe. Keep your thoughts to yourself. I don't really care about your thoughts. And if somebody wants a fight, you're going to give them a fight. Why? Because the Nine of Wands is here. I feel like you're burnt out with listening to people's crap. We've got the Moon energy, and I don't think they see it coming, Gemini. Now, the thing is I've never met a Gemini who ever shied away from a hard conversation, but it all depends on the Moon and Rising. As I say to you guys at the beginning of this reel all the time about the Moon and Rising, I have a friend who is a Gemini sun, but she is a Cancer rising, and she says things in the kindest way, but she's just going to damn well say them. Regardless of how you feel about it, she's going to deliver it in a way that's kind and sweet and caring and compassionate, but she's going to say it. So I feel like that's what this energy is with the Taurus energy. Look, I have a definite idea of what I want in my life, or the path that I'm on. Don't tell me where I should be. Probably nothing. As a Taurus, it probably, because I am a Taurus, I'm just saying, there's probably nothing that irritates me more than someone who thinks they know better about my life than I know about my life. I'm not really into people giving me their advice, especially at this big age. I've been through a lot. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, this is something that is a big change for you. So a new you is being birthed here is what it feels like, Gemini. This is something that's a big change. This is what's changing for you. This might be something that has come up just with the eclipse. Look, maybe you just flipped a switch, like a switch just flipped and said, back your shit up. I'm not talking about that. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not interested. It feels like destiny is here with the Moon. People didn't see it coming, but I want to say that people are going to say, well, why have you changed? And I don't think that you've changed at all. I think you always had these convictions, but I think you let people get away with it for the sake of not arguing or fighting. But when you get into this Nine of Wands stage where you're burnt out on people's bullshit, then you finally just say it. A switch flips. And I feel like this Wheel of Fortune tells me this is an expansion for you. We've got the Knight of Cups. And we've got the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. You're reconnecting to your own heart space. I feel like you're now being kinder to you. And part of being kinder to yourself with the Knight of Cups here, part of being kinder to yourself is reconnecting with the self and no longer feeling bad about the way that you are internally. I feel like you're accepting yourself more. That's what the Knight of Cups energy is kind of telling me. I feel if you're looking at this as a romantic reading, that it feels like this is that you're having a change of partner or a change of mind, or you might be breaking up with somebody, or maybe you've been single for like ever and now you've decided that you want to reconnect with your heart space. Like it feels like in this moment of things changing and moving forward, it feels like in a very fortunate way that you're opening your heart space to reconnection. So somebody here could be entering back into the dating pool, or if not the dating pool, maybe you know somebody already that you've known for a long time. The Wheel of Fortune is Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, also Sagittarius. Maybe you've known them since Sagittarian season, but something here is about to expand between you and another if this is a romantic reading for you. We've got the Two Cups. So just as I said that, very interesting that I had to flip to this energy of romance energy, because I felt that a little bit. So I feel like there is someone here that you've grown to know for a while. I don't think that this is somebody that you just met last Tuesday. It feels like there has been a connection between you and someone else that you really have come to admire or respect. Someone that you see is very stable and sturdy. I think this person has your secrets. I'm going to say that maybe this is the only person in your life, or one of the very few that you are that you have shared some emotional things with. So I feel like 3 cups, if that's the case, it does feel like you're going to have an opportunity in the next 7 days to reunite with this person or reconnect with this person. And the Wheel of Fortune tells me that this is all in divine timing, that something here is expanding and that destiny is at work here. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Wands. And we got the Death card. So it's interesting because I feel like that's saying, first I got the stability. I got my life in order. I got my money in order. I got my time, efforts, and energies in order. I got my priorities in order and started planning the year. Now that is done, I can now head out with the Ace of Wands. I can now find the fun and what's exciting and what's creative, and I don't have to take care of so much care of the stuff that the Queen of Pentacles takes care of. I feel like you've got your stuff in order. You've got your life in order, got your crap in order, got your money in order. And that doesn't mean that you have more than you need, but I feel like it's in order. So you finally have taken care of the doldrum stuff, the day-to-day. But I feel like now something is changing. So you're picking up the Ace of Wands and saying, now I need excitement. Now I need fun. Maybe you're looking at, maybe you had too many things going on in the Pentacle world that were not organized up till now, and I feel like you're getting some sort of clarity because the Death card is here. And so I feel like that you are changing. Something within you has changed. And I just heard the song Defying Gravity. So that's why I stopped and listened for a second. The Death card is here. So it feels like something is transformed or is transforming. We've got the Star here. We've got the Empress. And we've got the Four of Pentacles. So I think that you had been holding back your energy from someone, is what it feels like. You've been holding back your opinion or holding back the words that you would say. Now, this could be in a romantic sense or this could be in a practical sense. It feels like the Queen of Swords is with the Four of Pentacles here and the Nine of Swords in the reverse, that you felt okay at the time holding back your words, but you don't feel okay doing that anymore. I feel like your words are going to be well received, by the way. I feel like you were holding back from the Empress, possibly. Maybe this is somebody that you were getting to know. Maybe somebody that you had such respect for, because I feel like on the Two of Cups, we're talking about that. This is somebody who is possibly, who is a healer or somebody who is healed. I feel like you have decided that, that if somebody, it's almost like you've been defending this person's honor, or if somebody said, hey, did you hear about the Empress? Like they did this, this, and that. They think they're better than us because they don't show up at the social functions. And you're like, no, that's not the way it is. This person just has respect and boundaries. That's all it is. I feel like you've been sort of protecting somebody. And I feel like it's this person that has to do with the Two of Cups, whether this is a platonic or a romantic relationship for you. We do have the Two of Swords in the reverse. The decision has been made. I feel like somebody here is probably going to go forward with some sort of heart space energy or measure with the Empress here. And I feel like you've made up your mind. That's why the Hierophant is here. And I feel like this Empress isn't going to see it coming, honestly. We've got the Eight of Swords. And I feel like you've been up in your head for a little bit here, not knowing what to say. Four of Swords. Maybe you haven't been speaking to this person, so maybe it shocks them or surprises them a little bit about your courage. The Nine of Cups is here. I think that you've decided what you want and that you want to be happy. And it's time to birth a new cycle with this person. We've got Cancer. We've got Taurus energy. Pisces. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, Taurus, and Libra. We've got Pisces and Cancer, Aquarius and Taurus, Leo, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, we'll call it. Sagittarius, not Sagittarius, but Scorpio. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles, right? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. Somebody here really makes you, puts you in a stable energy here. All right, Cancer, let's find out what's going on with you. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. Cancer, tell me what's coming up for you in the next 7 days. Tell me what's coming up for Cancer. Got the Three of Swords. What's going on here? We've got the Nine of Swords. You're worried about some sort of disappointment or broken heart energy. We've got the Hanged Man. I don't think this has happened yet. I think you're anticipating something is not going to work out the way you want it to. Got the Two of Wands here. Yeah, it feels like you've made a plan, or you've got a plan about something that I think you've been worrying about. And so the Hanged Man here tells me that you've not yet taken action. You're in a pause trying to get a perspective about some sort of plan that you've put into place. I don't think that you have... I don't think that you've put any energy behind the plan yet. Like, I don't think that you have executed the plan. I feel like you are, you are worried. It feels like there's a worry here with the Three of Swords, that if I put myself out there, I'm going to get heartbroken. If it's romantic, if I put myself out there, I'm just going to be disappointed. So I feel like you've been holding back, or you've been in a pause trying to look at something from a different point of view before you take this plan that you have been devising here, before you put any action behind the plan. Tell me why the Three of Swords is here. What is your worries here about this broken heart energy? We've got the Ten of Wands. You feel like if you say something that it will cause something to end. But honestly, I feel like the Ten of Wands is telling me that if you finally do say something, that you get to release the burden. So whatever you're anticipating going on here, if it doesn't work out, at least you're able to release it. You don't have to walk around with this feeling of, oh gosh, like the Three of Swords feeling. We had just pulled the Two of Swords, so now the Three of Swords and the Two of Swords is 5. It feels like there's some sort of a mental jousting going on within you about whether or not to say something, whether or not I'm worried about how somebody's going to receive my words or my thoughts. I need to make a decision. I feel like you're blocked, or your heart space might be blocked, and I feel like you just don't want to be hurt. We've got the Knight of Wands. So I feel as though that for some of you, if this is romantic for you, this is like, I feel really passionate about something. I want to be brave and tell someone what I've come to in terms of a decision. But I feel like the Two of Swords tells me that you're not quite ready to voice it, because the Three of Swords here and the Two of Swords together tells me that you're having an issue with either devising the words, or I don't know what to say, or I'm arguing with myself, holding back, because you think that if you tell this person that you're attracted to them, or that you like spending time with them, or whatever the Knight of Wands is, that when they walk in the room, they light you up. I feel like you're scared that this is going to burn everything to the ground, that maybe this person doesn't feel the same way. So I feel that's why you have not executed the plan, because you don't really know what the words are. And you are sort of looking at everything through the eyes of perspective. I'm trying to get a perspective. If I say this and they say that, then what do I do next? I really think that what you don't see is that the block is in your mind, because the Two of Swords is here of the mind, that you do need to make a decision, but you're sort of blocked in the mind. But if you do say something, that I feel like you get to release something. I feel like you get to release a burden, a mental burden that you've been carrying around. So whether or not this person accepts your advances is not the question. The thing is that you get to finally drop it. So if it's not a good outcome, then you finally get to heal from it. If it is a good outcome, then you get to make more plans toward it. We've got the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So I don't think that you have said anything, materialized anything. This person, as far as you're concerned, has no idea about the plan. We've got the Six of Swords. I think you're going to move on this plan, I feel. And then we have the Queen of Cups. It's your energy here. One more card. I think that you are, and the King of Swords, look at that. So you're about to be really honest with somebody about the depths of your feelings about something. Now, this could be about something that isn't romantic, but if you're looking at it through the lens of romance, then please do. I feel like there is something that it feels like you've not put any effort in, or you stopped putting effort in, or you stopped communicating with this person until you could get your brains right, until you could make the decision with precision. So I feel like the King of Swords is here to speak the truth and the truth only. And I feel like you are trying to formulate the words to say something to someone in the kindest way. So you could be telling someone a truth that you know is going to hurt their feelings. Maybe you're breaking up with someone. The Three of Swords is here. Five of Swords is here, right? Maybe you're breaking up with someone. Maybe it's a situationship. Whenever I have the Pentacles next to the King of Wands for me, the Page and the Three for sure of Pentacles, to me that's a situationship. We could be talking about that. Maybe you're ending a situationship, but I don't think that for some of you, you might not be just be ending it altogether. You might just be taking it to the next level. So we have the King of Swords. You're about to be really honest here about moving forward or moving on, right? The Six of Swords is here. You want to go to the calmer place emotionally. So I feel like that comes with you finally releasing the mental burden that you've been carrying around. Now, the Emperor is on the bottom of the deck. That tells me that the ball's in your court, that you're the one that is going to have to take control of the situation, pull in all your energy, and go in stoic. So I feel like you're going to be telling somebody something. Maybe it's good news, maybe it's bad news, but it feels like either way, you're trying to release yourself of some sort of mental burden. You've got to get it off your chest regardless. Tell me what the outcome is for Cancer. We've got the King of Pentacles. Oh, I just heard Charlie say steady as she goes. Charlie is my guide. We've got the Six of Cups in the reverse. So you're stuck in nostalgia here. And we have the Chariot. I feel like you're stuck in your thoughts. It feels like you are, I'm going to say, a little bit stubborn. Cancer. I love Cancer energy because it's very much like my own, and I'm a Taurus. I would say that you're the Taurus of the water signs, right? And the King of Pentacles is here. It feels like you have a specific idea about something that you want to share, but it feels like that you are stuck thinking about it at this time. I would say stuck, or maybe too stubborn to say it, too stubborn to move forward. It's like you would rather have no outcome at all than have a negative outcome. That's what it feels like here. It's like a hurry up and wait scenario with the Chariot and the Six of Cups in the reverse. Tell me what's around the corner here for Cancer. Got the Two of Cups. Yeah, it does feel like it is something to do with the heart space here. I feel like you have heart space energy for the Empress. So the Empress is somebody who's sovereign, right? Somebody who doesn't really need you, someone who's very busy in their own life. This is somebody who I feel that you have shared secrets with. I think you want to move forward with this person in an abundant way, and I think that you're about to spill the beans. The Four of Wands is here, and I was saying earlier in your reading here that I think it's going to the next level, and that for me is, as a reader, is the next level, is the Four of Wands. So whatever the next level is, maybe you just met this person and you're not really dating, and now you want to date them exclusively. If you're already in a relationship with this person, we want to take it to the next level and move in together. Or maybe want to buy a house together. It feels like it's next level. And we need to have a conversation, a kind conversation, either about moving on, being done, breaking up, Three of Swords is here, or about moving forward together because now I have really deep feelings that I want to express to you. We've got the Six of Pentacles. It does feel like there is going to be reciprocal energy. So I'm going to say with Temperance here that it's going to be a healing conversation. Page of Swords is in the reverse, but I feel like you're going to stumble with your words a little bit, Cancer. Not really sure what to say because you're not the one who is really vulnerable on the surface, I'll just say, right? We have Sagittarius, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, and Libra. We have Pisces energy, Cancer. We've got more Cancer energy. We've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Sagittarian energy, more Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. All right. All right, Leo. Let's take a look, see what's going on for Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Leo. For the next 7 days, Leo, what's going on for you? Tell me about Leo for the next 7 days. We've got the Two of Swords. So, feels like you need to make a decision about something or you're feeling a little blocked in the mind. Tell me what this is about. You're being asked to use your intuition to make some sort of decision. It could be about money. It could be about home, about business, about where you work. It feels like with this Queen of Pentacles energy that it's about stability and your 3D world, that there is some sort of, could be a financial block as well. What is this? We've got the Six of Pentacles. I think you're trying to decide whether you want to put more time, effort, energy, and money into something. Maybe someone wants to lend them money. Feels like it could be that. We've got Seven of Pentacles and you're like, but I work so hard for my money. I don't really know that I just want to let it go that way. We do have the Three of Wands in the reverse. Very interesting, because it feels like you feel you're never going to get it back. So when I say you're never going to get it back, it feels like you're, this is somebody that you know. This is somebody that is in your circle already. I don't know how well you know them, but it feels like you feel as though if you give this to them, it's going to be a donation. Like you're never going to get it back. And so whether it's time, effort, energy, or money, it feels like you feel you're never going to get it back. Now, the thing is that I'm going to say if you're going to give it to somebody, give it to them with the thought of possibly not getting it back. But I feel like you haven't made a decision yet, to be honest. I feel like you do have the surplus, but the Three of Wands in the reverse tells me we probably don't have a future. If I give this to this person, my time, effort, energy, or money, I'm probably not going to see them again. Tell me about the Two of Swords, please. We've got the Knight of Wands. Don't make a hasty decision. Don't move too quickly here. The Ten of Wands, because it'll end up being a burden. The decision you make will end up being a burden here, Libra, Leo. If you make it too quickly here, gosh, it does feel like it's about money. For some of you, this could be about relationship as well. The King and the Queen of Pentacles are here mirroring each other's energy. It feels like if this is relationship for you, that it is the Six of Pentacles we're talking about. I give you reciprocal energy, but I'm not sure that we have a future together. I'm not really sure how much longer I'm going to carry on like this. There's something here that's becoming a burden for you to carry. It could be that this is a relationship that is long-term or long-standing. And if this is romantic, it feels like this passionate, throes of passion kind of energy has gotten really mundane, I would say. Like the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles are not boring necessarily, but they are playing it safe. And what I mean by playing it safe is once I get the money in the bank, I want to keep the money in the bank. I'm not interested in spending gobs of money on things because even though, Taurus likes beautiful things and Capricorn likes beautiful things and always looks good, but I'm going to be very practical with the energy, time, or effort that I'm giving you. So it feels like this decision is weighing heavy on you or has become a burden. Whatever this is, right? It feels like it could be platonic as well because the Six of Pentacles are here and that's practical energy. This feels like somebody usually give your energy to freely. You're wondering, when does it come to the place where they actually give it back? Because I feel like you're waiting for balance here. She's holding scales, but this person is giving. This person's not receiving. This person's giving. So if you are in the Queen of Pentacles energy, so the feminine leaning energy, the person who is usually taking care of yourself, taking care of your life, taking care of your bills, I feel like you are somebody who is usually very giving, but you don't really see this as a practical way to the future. With the King of Pentacles, it feels like the King of Pentacles has been holding back passion. The King of Pentacles could be someone who does punish with passion, holding back passion. It feels like there is some sort of decision that needs to be made here. Maybe the King or the Queen is asking the other person to make a decision about a permanent relationship. Do we move forward here? Like it feels like something here is unfinished, but we have two people living in their own houses, living their own lives. Very, I don't need you, you don't need me kind of energy. And I don't know that there is a future here because the Three of Wands is in the reverse. It feels like nobody here is making a decision about moving into the future. We've got the Five of Cups, which is interesting because that is, maybe this is over. This is no fun anymore. I was just saying with the King and Queen of Pentacles, they're not necessarily boring. I mean, I've met Capricorns that are super fun. Actually, my bestie is a Capricorn who's super fun. And this King of Pentacles energy tells me that, we used to have a lot of passion here, but what's weighing heavy on me now is that we're just doing things in a very practical sense. So I'm going to say that if this is a long time relationship, the passion's burnt out. It feels like the light has burnt out here, and somebody doesn't see that there is any way to move forward from here. So I feel like there is, I feel like the King of Pentacles is feeling in a type of way about the situation, and has come to a place where I don't really know what to do with this, because I feel like this is over. I feel like there might be love going forward in another place, but I don't feel like this is fun anymore. The 3 cups have poured out. It feels like, I feel like both of these people are mirroring each other. I feel like they both feel the same way, but nobody's saying anything, because the 7 of Cups is here. Because every time we approach the topic, we get really out of hand, or maybe you start talking about things that don't make sense to the King, and the King starts talking about things that don't make sense to the Queen. The 7 of Cups is illusion or confusion. Or it could be that one of you has many options. And so I'm not going to stay here where I have no passion and we've just got a relationship built on money, things, and stuff, because I don't see a future in that. If you're not going to give me reciprocal energy, then maybe it's time for me to figure out where I need to go next. Temperance energy is somebody needs to get their balance. Temperance is also the moment of alchemy. So I feel like somebody here is making a decision about the 2 of Cups. It does feel that way. So the 2 of Cups can be platonic. It can be romantic. Take your side. I could be talking about 2 people who are friends, besties. I could be talking about 2 people who are romantically entwined with each other here. But it feels like there is a decision coming up here, a decision moment, where we are need to stop being in this overwhelm or confusion or illusion that we're happy, because it feels like it's gone to a place where, we're roommates, or, I don't think there's any more passion. It feels like what's weighing heavy is the decision because of the practicality of the relationship. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Lovers, and Leo needs passion, right? We've got the Lovers. We've got the 8 of Wands. Yeah, somebody here needs more passion, is what it looks like. Somebody here is not happy with being in a long-term relationship where we're just not in a place where we can keep our hands off each other anymore. Like, it's like the bloom is off the rose, or we've been together for so long now that somebody has lost their passion for the other person, their attraction, physical attraction. I feel like the thing is that nobody's moving because this is a comfortable, practical relationship. We've gathered a lot of material wealth together, and we're both just sort of doing our own thing as friends in the house. The Lovers is here, so we are probably really, really good friends or soulmate friends, but it feels like it's turned into a friendship or a practical way for us to live. And it feels like it's been going on like that for a while. So I feel like somebody here requires a conversation or needs more passion to come toward them. They're not getting the passion that they want in the relationship anymore. It feels like something here has fallen flat for you, Leo. We've got the Queen of Cups, but there are still a lot of deep feelings here, compassionate, kind, deep feelings that we must address. We have to talk about the feelings here. The 3 of Swords. Yeah, it does feel like, whether it's platonic or romantic, and all of you will have your own lens, but it does feel like that there is a conversation that is going to come up. Now, possibly you're not the person who brings it up. Maybe it's the other person, because look, I feel like we have 2 people who feel the same about the situation, but nobody's saying anything. It feels like we're in silent heartbreak. That there still is really deep feelings here. I'm still in love with you, but there's no passion, and I can't live without passion. The Page of Pentacles is in the reverse, and nobody's doing anything about it. So I want to say that somebody stopped putting passionate effort into this relationship. So when I say passionate in terms of a platonic relationship, I mean, you don't like make any suggestions for us to go out and do things anymore. You put it all on me and make me do all the planning. That can happen in a platonic relationship where somebody doesn't call you, text you, have anything to do with you unless you're calling them and saying, hey, I've made a plan. Do you want to come out with me? It could be that kind of relationship as well. So I feel like a decision needs to be made here. And that is, do we move on to a calmer place? Do we move out of this chaos? Because somebody here has been observing the situation and is about to make a decision. 9 of Pentacles, that maybe I just need to be single. Maybe I just need to take, if this is just a relationship of material wealth, then I can do that anywhere, and I can do that on my own. We have Cancer energy, Sagittarian energy, and Gemini. We have Scorpio energy, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, actually, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We've got Gemini, Sagittarius. Right. Tell me about Virgo. Tell me about Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Virgo. Tell me about Virgo. Remember, this reading is not just for the sun signs, right? Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter as well. Tell me about the next 7 days for Virgo. We've got the King of Swords. What are you being honest about here? About your surplus, or how much you have, or how long you've waited for something, or how hard you'd worked on something. Justice. It feels like something needs to be restored. It could be something financial, or possibly you need to be compensated for the hard work you've done, or you're tired of waiting for something to restore itself, or for someone to do the right thing. We've got the Seven of Swords. It does feel like there is something here going on that could be legal. I'll just say it does feel like that with the Seven of Swords and Justice being here with the King of Swords. The King of Swords for me is the judge, the magistrate, the lawyer, somebody who has the final say in something, or the final word. It feels like there is something that you possibly have been waiting on of a legal sense here, for someone to say something on your behalf, or to even the scales, or to restore something, or to do the right thing. So we have the Seven of Swords, which tells me that you feel like somebody's lying about money, or lying about the length of time of something. Look, maybe we're talking about someone who's in jail. Maybe it's like the length of a sentence. It feels like somebody here is about to make a decision. Now, this could be a decision about a job. Let's just go there for a second, because the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Swords tells me somebody sees that you work really hard, and maybe you've been waiting for the raise. Maybe you've been waiting for somebody to do the right thing, and you feel like there's something that is being concealed from you. Tell me about the King of Swords, please. We've got the Ten of Wands that has popped out. We've got the Moon energy, and we've got the Devil. I feel like you don't trust the situation here. You do not trust that somebody here is making the right decision, but I think it's out of your hands. It does feel like it could be about a job, or it's something that you've been waiting on. I feel like it could be a legal decision here. I feel like a decision is going to be made, possibly in the next 7 days, maybe even longer. Look, there's no real linear time frame here, right? It's all very fluid. So it could be in the next 7 days for some of you, if this resonates for you, if you've been waiting on some sort of legal decision to come down, or you've been waiting for somebody to hire you for a job. I feel like the fact that they have not said anything that you see as kind of toxic. Somebody is in a sort of a silence where they're not doing the right thing and concealing something that you've been waiting on. And I think this really impacts your life, or affects your life. And you don't know what's going on because the Moon energy is here. Things are not as they seem. So I'm going to say with the Devil energy here that it feels like maybe I could be talking about someone who's incarcerated with the Devil energy and the King of Swords. But it feels like there is a decision to cut the ties that bind. Do you see where I'm going? So it feels like there's going to be a decision to cut you from the ties that bind. This could be a financial contribution you've been making somewhere. This could be somebody who you've been waiting to make their financial contribution, or pay back something financial to you. But it feels like this is all leaning on the decision-making process, the justice or the legal decision of the King of Swords. Tell me more. We've got the Queen of Wands. So there will be a decision made soon. I'm going to say for you, some of you, it is in the next week, because the Queen of Wands carries a wand, and for me, wands are weeks. So for some of you, that decision is coming down in the next week or so. We have the World card, and this whole thing is finally coming to an end. We've got the King of Pentacles, and it's going to pay out well. So if this is a financial thing, maybe I'm mixing work with legal stuff, and maybe you're suing an employer currently, or thinking about suing an employer. Maybe that you are conferring with a a lawyer at this time who's not giving you the specific answer that you want. It feels like something's weighing heavy on your mind, heavy on your energy. You don't know where something is going. You feel bound, like you feel like you can't move. There's probably something that you're not allowed to do legally, like you're not allowed to travel right now outside of your province or your state or your country. It feels like something is binding you. So I feel like there's an answer coming in the next week that is going to be probably a very bold answer, and it's going to put something to an end. You're going to consider this a milestone or an achievement. So something is wrapping up here, and I feel like it either pays out really well because the King of Coins is here, or it stabilizes things, or it gives you some sort of, it buys you time for something, gives you longevity or buys you time. It feels like it is a bold move that's being made by possibly a lawyer, I'm just going to say, to dispel some sort of lie or deceit that's been going on under the surface. With the Queen of Wands here, it feels like somebody here independently dug into some background information and came up with something that is going to pay out or stabilize something. It feels like this has taken a really long time because the King of Coins isn't moving fast. We've got the Knight of Wands, but things are about to pick up. A decision's being made. Look at that. So the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, that's two wands, right? They each carry a wand. And it tells me that somebody's been making a plan behind the scenes. So quietly and under the surface, something's being concealed. There's a plan here that you know nothing about. So things that the way they look on the surface may not be the way they are actually underneath the surface. And I feel like it's the best outcome for you, either financially in the 3D, could be about your money, your job, could be about, I'm going to say from the Seven of Pentacles to the King, it could be about you getting a raise or a promotion, possibly. Tell me what the outcome is for Virgo. We've got the Hermit in reverse. So whoever's been silent will speak. We've got the Page of Coins. And they'll be very precise, very perfect with what they say. This person's a perfectionist. This is a person who will probably split hairs. They won't say it happened on Tuesday. They'll say, no, it happened Tuesday at 2:59. Like they know the exact details of something. And I feel like few more details are coming out that are going to surprise you. So very interesting energy here. Tell me what is around the corner here. So it's a surprising or a shocking turn of events for you here. Virgo, something here is being restored or said in your favor that's been a lie underneath the surface. The truth is coming to the surface. We've got the Two of Swords, and it's coming via a decision that it feels like the decision's being reversed. Like a decision that was made that was not in your favor is being reversed and is going to become in your favor. It feels like this 7, 8, 9, 10, right? We've got 7 swords, and then we've got 2 swords and 1 in the hand of the King. That's 10 swords. Something is being released or is finally coming to an end. It could be a nightmare because the King of Swords is here with the moon. You could say this nightmare is finally over. That's what it feels like here. We've got the Queen of Cups. And we've got the Nine of Swords. I'm going to say stop worrying about it, because somebody here who loves you a lot, who has compassion for you or kindness for you in their heart, somebody who has deep feelings for you, if it's romantic, this person is going to speak on your behalf. This person is the person who is going to speak on your behalf, and this is going to be the deciding factor. So someone here is going to speak on your behalf, and other people are going to listen. It comes at the 11th hour is what it feels like. It comes at the very last minute before something goes down. What is this? Before you feel stuck again for another long while on this. So if this is legal, it feels like just in the nick of time, somebody comes up and speaks on your behalf, and it breaks the whole thing open. So it could be relationship related. It could be legally related. Temperance is here. It's all happening in a moment of alchemy, because it should. Healing is on the way, friend. So just be patient, because the 7 of Pentacles was here, right? Be patient about all of that. We've got Aquarius energy. Look, if anything is going to happen, it's going to be with all of these planets going on in Aquarius. We've got Sagittarian energy here. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got more Sag energy, Libra. The scales are being balanced. Something is going to be said in your favor. Virgo energy, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Look, we got all the energies here, friend. Sagittarius, something here is happening right now because now is the time, the only time that it could happen. Right. Tell me about Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Now, you guys know I'm not your astrologer, but I feel like I've been hearing through astrology that there is a lot of really great things going on for the mutable signs, and that's you. So I feel like there is... Are you a mutable sign? Let me think about that for a second. No, maybe you're a cardinal sign, hey? No, I don't really know. I probably shouldn't say. Nonetheless, I've been hearing that something good is coming for Libra. In terms of money, that kind of has been following the readings energetically that I've been doing lately for you. That something is about to break, Libra. Something is about to break, and something, it's like you're breaking through something. It feels like there's something, it might have been this eclipse actually, that is on your side that's giving you some momentum here. Tell me more about Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's what I was feeling, that something is celebrational or something exciting or, something Three of Cups-ish. It feels like there is going to be something to celebrate soon for you. It feels like, I was going to say, something is going to break. Like it feels like I'm finally going to have a breakthrough. We've got the Two of Cups here. It could be something romantic. Two of Cups isn't always romantic. It depends on the cards that are around it. Oh, a monumental decision. Okay, but the thing is that I usually see this as coming back to something or making a decision about something you were ignoring before, Libra. But Charlie said monumental decision. So if this is something that is romantic for you, Libra, it's like you've revisited something. Like maybe you have feelings for someone and you're revisiting that. It feels like you possibly were dealing with broken heart energy. We've got the 2 and the 3. We won't ignore that. That's 5. It feels like you've had some regrets in the past about emotional things, maybe relationships, could be platonic or romantic, but it feels like something is coming back around or you're revisiting something emotional. And if it is romantic, it feels like it could be that you're about to make a decision about how you feel about someone and maybe you shared some of your intimate parts of yourself with them. Intimacy is not what goes on between the sheets. It's what goes on in words and things we've talked about. And it feels like you have a connection to somebody here. And it feels like it's coming back around again, but this time it's different. Something has changed or something has transformed. And I feel like you're feeling something, it feels like if it's platonic, that you're going to ask a platonic friend to maybe meet you out somewhere, take them out for dinner, like celebrate with them, have a glass of wine. It feels like that. Or if this is romantic, it feels like you're going to be revisiting something romantic. Now, the Judgment card could mean this is somebody that you've dated before. But for those of you who aren't interested in that, that's not exactly what the Judgment card means, right? It feels like this is something that maybe you were like, because you were in regret about past relationship stuff or emotional heart space stuff, that possibly you just skipped over this. Maybe you skippity-dooed right over it because you're like, I don't want to deal with broken heart energy again. I don't want to deal with that. So I feel like this opportunity is coming back around for you, Libra, and you're going to be making some sort of decision. It might be to get together with this person, or maybe you see them in a social situation, and it's going to make you feel like this. That person's back. There they are. They just walked in the door. You're going to realize that you perk up just a little bit. You get a little pep in your step when somebody walks through the door. And it feels like it's in a social situation. So when you see somebody walk in, I think you're really excited to see them, but you didn't expect it. Because it feels like it's something that you were trying to push away or ignore because you didn't want to get your heart broken. You didn't want to get your emotions involved, but I'm going to say too late. Tell me about the 3 of Cups. What's this? We've got the 7 of, not the 7 of, I always say that. It's not the 7 of, it's card number 8, and that is Strength. The Nine of Cups is here. And the Queen of Swords. Oh, Libra. It does feel like that's something. I feel like you're no longer ignoring how you feel about someone, whether that is a platonic or a romantic connection. I feel like this is your energy, right? The Queen of Swords, that is Libran energy, and she's dressed in blue, and blue's the throat chakra. I feel like you're going to say something very honest and very truthful about how, the Nine of Cups, about how your life is in a really great place, or that you're really very happy to see this person. I feel like, whether or not this person showed up had no bearing on whether you had fun that night, but I feel like you realized that something within you has changed, something that in your heart space has changed, and you're going to find the courage possibly to ask this person out, or maybe to give them more of your attention, your emotional attention when you see them. It does feel like you're about to speak very honestly about how you feel about something. Maybe you're going to say, I'm in a great place in my life, and I'd really like to see if maybe we can get together and go out. It feels like and I'm going to say it's Knight of Cups energy, right? With the Three of Cups and the Two of Cups, it's Knight of Cups energy. 6 Cups are here. You feel a special connection to this person, and I feel as though this has come up before, but you've tried to hold it off or ignore it. We've got the 10 Pentacles, but I don't think that you see your future without them. I feel like you see a future with this person here. We've got the 9 of Wands. And we've got the 9 of Pentacles. So I feel like it's taken some time for you to find some confidence. And I feel like whatever's going on astrologically, I don't really know what that is, but I really feel like I've been hearing a lot about Libra having breakthroughs. So take that for what it is. Go find yourself an astrologer and find out what all that's about. But that's what my readings have been leaning toward as well. This could be a financial breakthrough for some of you. It could be that you've been feeling in doubt or feeling like, at the last minute, something finally comes through financially. And I always equate that with you, those of you Libras that are creative, because all the Libras I know are creatives. And so for some of you, that could mean you're finally going to get your first paid gig, or finally you're going to get that book is going to start getting revenue. It feels like you're publishing a paper or publishing a book. It could be a thesis. Like it feels like it's something that is going to affect your life for the long term, something that you were unsure would work out. You're feeling a lot more confident about. This could also be like, I thought I wasn't going to get this. I thought this person didn't feel the same way as me. I think you're feeling a lot more courageous to say something because now you're feeling a lot more confident. And then we have the Three of Wands. Yeah, I don't think that you see a future without this person. I feel like the Three of Wands tells me you have been looking into the future and what's going to make you stable and confident, and it feels like you're trying to plan your future. I'm just looking at the person on the 9 of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. The 9 of Pentacles, she's got a book. It's like she's writing her future in the book, right? Her financial future or future of confidence. It feels like you're about to make a decision, I'm going to say, with the Judgment card, about finally saying yes to something you may have been saying no to, or something that you may have had your back to, not paying attention to, because you didn't want to get hurt, emotionally hurt. Tell me what the outcome is for Libra. We've got the Four of Cups. Oh, I love it. Look at that. Somebody's coming out of that comfort zone. I feel, Libra, that you have got feelings, big feelings for somebody here. And I was just, as I was shuffling, I was like, I bet you that's the Ace of Wands. I bet you that's the Ace of Wands. The reason I got so excited is because the Wheel of Fortune showed up instead of the Ace of Wands. So definitely something is changing and expanding for you in terms of the heart space. The Four of Cups being here tells me you're going to go for it even if you think you're going to be rejected. But first you must step outside of your comfort zone. So I feel like this is a destined connection. And that's why the Two of Cups is showing up here. I feel like you're about to be really honest with someone about what your future plans are, and that you would really like to see them in your future plans. We've got the High Priestess. I think that person already knows. I think you're dealing with a High Priestess, somebody who's really connected to their intuition, but has been silent. This person could be silent with you. Maybe they want you to make the move, Libra. And I don't know if I'm dealing with a masculine or a feminine Libra, but whoever you are, I feel like you're in your pursuit energy. So it feels like, Libran energy is a masculine energy, but you could be a feminine Libra. But it feels like somebody's flipping into their masculine energy in order to pursue something that they really want. Something they see as very valuable for the future. Tell me what is coming up around the corner. Something that you've been thinking about for a long time, that you've been silent about for a long time, because we've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo with the World card, Sagittarian season, maybe since Sagittarian season, so November, December, you've been quiet about it, and I feel like you're no longer going to be quiet about it. We've got the Six of Wands in the reverse. I feel like you were dealing with some pretty heavy life stuff. I think that's why you didn't say anything or you weren't ready, but now you're in your Emperor era. I was just talking about masculine energy. So somebody's in their masculine pursuing energy. I feel like you were just trying to be stoic, or you were practicing being in your Emperor energy. I feel like you were trying to take care of business in your life, and I feel like whatever was going on in your life has leveled you up and readied you for the next chapter in your life. The World card is here. So I feel like you're wrapping up an old chapter of feeling unsure in the heart space, romantically, about a relationship, about whether you want to be single or with somebody. It feels like you are finding the courage to come outside of your comfort zone. And I feel like you have been fighting yourself doing this for a long time, making this decision. I feel like the Judgment card with the Five of Swords here tells me that you've been fighting making this decision of the heart space for a long time. But I think you're just about there, friend, because the World card is here. I feel like you're going to accomplish something in the next 7 days. And that is, I think you're going to quiet the mind and finally revisit this thing emotionally. We've got the Devil. I feel like something had you bound. It could be an addiction. It could be someone you couldn't let go of. Could be a thought pattern. It was a thought pattern. There it was. You were blocked, friend. You were in some sort of loop, some sort of mental loop that was keeping you blocked. But I feel like now you're out of this. I want to say that you're breaking the chains that bound you. You can see the aggressive way somebody's swinging the sword here. It feels like you're getting out of that energy and you're about to pursue someone or something. That's what it looks like, Libra. How exciting. All right. So we do have Libra energy here. We've got Piscean energy and Leo. We've got Virgo and Pisces, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius. We've got Aries energy. Maybe it was that Aries, that crazy Aries conjunction, Neptune and Saturn in Aries, if you have an Aries placement. And it was for everybody anyway. It affected all of us. We've got Virgo energy. We've got Leo, Piscean energy, and Cancer. All right. Okay, I tell you what, through the whole time I'm reading so far, up to Libra, I keep that song, Defying Gravities, in my head. It feels like we have some people who wouldn't usually take a leap because they thought they would fall, but they're actually going to be spreading their wings. So, Scorpio, how does that apply to you? Let's find out what's going on for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for you, Scorpio. Happy new moon. Happy new moon in Aquarius. Happy eclipse. Whew. It's a lot. It's a lot, right? Tell me about Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter signs. Not just for sun signs. Tell me about the next 7 days for Scorpio. We've got the Eight of Wands. What is moving here? Something is about to pick up speed. We've got the Lovers. Your love life is about to pick up speed. Now, I think I've been hearing that about the fixed signs. Feels like you're about to make some sort of a choice to move forward. The Ace of Swords. Very interesting. All right, one more. King of Pentacles. So, it does feel like you're about to say something. I think that you want to, I don't know why I'm getting level the playing field, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a playing field. It feels like that you want to support someone, that you want to give to someone. And it feels like you want to give them your thoughts, you want to give them your energy. The Eight of Wands here with the King of Pentacles tells me you want to support them. The King of Pentacles is usually the one who's made a decision that I really want stability with you. Maybe it's the one who is the serious one, the one who's looking for a solid long-term relationship. So it does feel like with the Ace of Swords that somebody's about to say something about a choice they've made. It could be a financial choice for some of you. It could be a choice in the work environment or in a job. Something that you are leveling up into. Tell me about the Eight of Wands. Get more information here. See what we're talking about. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Wands. Something that you were previously in indecision about. I feel like there was something here that you were not making a decision about. You know what I think it was? I think it was, I think your pros and cons list got too long. That's what it feels like, Scorpio. You out-strategized yourself. I think it left you frozen. I'm going to say, there's another, frozen, right? I was just saying, defying gravity. It feels like something has left you frozen, and I think it's the details. It feels like you're very particular. You could have a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn placement, but you're very planned. And when you make a plan, you want things to go to plan. And you're kind of stuck or stubborn. Maybe not stuck is a good word. But I'm going to say that you're very defiant about don't challenge me on my path. I feel like you've met somebody who wasn't necessarily planned, wasn't in the plan moving forward. And I feel like this person has now put you in indecision about the plan. It feels like now you realize you have more options. I feel like you were looking at the situation as single and solitary, that I thought I was going to move forward alone and do the things that I had planned for the whole year. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. It feels like somebody had already made a plan, and then all of a sudden the Seven of Cups shows up and throws all the plan out the window, and now I'm in indecision. I don't really know what I want. So the Eight of Pentacles tells me that you already had everything nailed down. You had all the details, all the analytics. You knew what you were doing. You had the plan. And now I think something has changed because the Ace of Swords is here with the Eight of Wands, which is now I'm thinking forward. Now I'm thinking on a little more about passion, right? Sagittarian energy. I'm thinking more about fun and about passion and about travel. And I feel like it almost feels like a little bit of fly in the ointment, but I think it's the best fly ever. Like, I think that you're pleasantly surprised, but it also feels like it's shaking up your world, and that aggravates you just a little. You've come to the realization of something with this Ace of Swords here. We've got the Sun in the reverse. You didn't see it before. While you were making the plan, you didn't see it. In fact, you had blocked out everything else to the point of covering your eyes. It's like you had the blinders on. You know how horses have blinders? So they don't get spooked from things that are in the peripheral vision. It feels like you had blinders on. And I think that you made this plan based on being single, being by yourself, following your own path, standing on business. Maybe you started a business. I feel like you thought that you had the whole plan figured out. And then all of a sudden, the Ace of Swords shows up with the Eight of Wands, and your plan changes. And then the Five of Wands is here with indecision. Now you're fighting yourself. You're battling yourself because you thought you were only ever going to have one opportunity or one path, the Hierophant, right? And I feel like you're stuck to that path. Now you're committed to that path. And what you didn't see, because the Sun is here, and like the Sun is always the Sun, but I think that you felt like you had hit the ceiling. Like there was no more growth to be had here. Now I've made all my money. Now I've got all my time. I've got my stability. And now I'm just going to go forward on the path that I've created for myself. It feels like the Hierophant wasn't interested in anyone else's input. I've already got my path. I know what I'm doing. I've got my own doctrine. And I feel like that actually was blocking you from something that you were kind of in this stubborn energy of, I never planned for you. What are you doing here? Like it just feels romantic to me. It feels like I already have my plan in place. What are you doing here? I said I was going to go, or I wasn't interested, or now I feel like the Ace of Swords is here with the Eight of Wands and everything is up in the air again. Tell me more. We've got the Six of Wands because somebody gave you some attention, or I think there's something you want to fight for. So it does feel like you've noticed that you have more than one option. There's more than one road, but I think you're having a hard time changing task because you're kind of stubborn that way. You are a fixed sign after all. It feels like you've already figured out your plan, but now I feel like since you've had this sort of moment of revelation or clarity, that now you want to fight for something. But the sun is in the reverse, so you're not really sure, is this going to work out the way I want it to? But it's like something has changed your plan, and now you're thinking, well, maybe I should choose differently. There's a realization that there's a choice of more than one path, more than one person, more than one situation. Maybe this is somebody who thought, okay, well, I'm just going to be single forever, and so I'm going to make my path, my financial path. These are the things I'm doing this year. And all of a sudden, somebody throws a wrench in the whole thing. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Page of Wands. So this person has sparked something within you. Excitement, passion. Now you want to travel. Now you want adventure. Now you want to do something a little bit reckless, maybe. I mean, a very little bit, because that's the Page of Wands, right? It feels like you don't want to follow the plan anymore, but you're staying quiet about it. Why is that? Feels like there is a silent undertone to this. You're keeping a cap on it until you talk to someone here. I feel like the High Priestess is telling me I'm staying quiet until I know what to say. And then when I say it, I'm going to say it with my whole chest. This does feel like this is a veering away from the path. It feels like you found a detour and you were ignoring the detours up till now because you didn't feel like there was any other way except, it's like, you know, the detours, possibly the other paths were covered in trees, and maybe you didn't see that there was a path off to the water. Like it feels like you've just noticed another door is open and now you have options. It feels like more than one door, Scorpio. Now you have options as to what you're going to do. And I don't think you know what you want to do because the Two of Swords is here with the Sun in the reverse. I feel like you thought you weren't going to have to make any more of these decisions, and now all of a sudden you want to fight for something. Maybe you're fighting for stability, but maybe you're also fighting to stand on business with someone. It does feel like you're going to be speaking to someone about a decision or a choice that you've made. And I feel like you've been keeping it quiet until the time in which you can no longer hold it in anymore. That's when you'll say something. We've got the Ten of Wands because it feels like it's weighing heavy on you and you just want to drop this burden. So I feel like it's going to interfere in your future plans. Because I think that past self was making plans for the future self based on a path that didn't have any detours, or you didn't have any options. Maybe you felt like you didn't have any options. Maybe you had shut off the heart space. Four of Pentacles. I feel like you were shut off, shut down. You weren't going to give anybody your time, effort, energy, or money. I don't want to share my life with anybody. I'm not interested. But I feel like now there's a burden. Could be a financial burden, but it feels like it's a burden about the future. I thought my future was all laid out, and now it's not. The Star is here. It's because you've healed. Very interesting. So I feel like you've been in your head about someone or something, but the Page of Swords being here tells me that you reevaluated because you have been observing someone. That you reevaluated a situation about how deeply you feel about them. Two Cups on this card. And I feel like this has given you a different perspective, right? The Hanged Man, a different perspective about how to move forward. But maybe this person, Queen of Pentacles, who is the partner to the King of Pentacles, that's how you're showing up as the King of Pentacles. I feel like you're not sure if this person's on board, because I think that either you think that it's over between you and them, or that you hurt them in some way. So there's a worry. What's the worry? The worry is Why is this person silent with me, or have I been silent for too long? Yep, you don't really know what's going down, but I think that you want something to go down. I think you're going to surprise somebody by saying something that is not usually something you would say. I'll just leave it there. We've got Virgo energy. We've got Gemini. We've got Scorpio, more Scorpio energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces. We've got Aquarius energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Leo energy, more Virgo, Sagittarius, and Gemini. We've got Pisces and more Gemini energy. Okay, that was very interesting. Let's talk about you, Sag. Fire family, tell me about Sagittarius. Happy new moon. Happy eclipse. Hopefully that is all happy for you. Happy changes. Tell me about Sagittarius. I think you will go with the flow anyway. Oh, I just saw the Queen of Wands in my head on a surfboard. Riding the waves, man. You might be just riding the waves. Maybe things are getting a little crazy and you're just riding the waves of change. Maybe change is coming up. Okay, I'll stop talking. Hang on. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Sagittarius. Gotta get off topic really easy. Squirrel. Tell me about what's going on the next 7 days for Sag. All right, what's this? We've got the Seven of Swords and the Hermit. You don't know what's going on because somebody's been really quiet with you. Can I really trust the silence? To be honest, I think that you're doing your own thing. I don't think that you're focused on the silence, but I feel like you're wondering what's being concealed in the silence. Tell me more. We've got the Three of Swords. Is it quiet because of heartbreak, because someone is about to release something here? So the Seven of Swords, Three of Swords, that's 10. That's betrayal. I think that you're assuming that because things are quiet, that there's some sort of betrayal going on under the surface. It does feel like somebody here is deciding to pay attention to themselves, take care of themselves. I feel like you're engaged in maybe your business, doing what you're doing. Maybe you're working a lot, taking care of yourself, a lot of self-care. It feels like you're very focused on you and your world, your pentacle world, so your 3D world. It feels like there is... You're trying to ignore it. Look, the person on the Nine of Pentacles has their back to the Three of Swords, Seven of Swords. I feel like someone is silent. The Hermit is here. But I feel like it's for reasons other than what you're thinking. Let's talk more about the Seven of Swords here. Like what I'm saying is that the Hermit energy to me is not a place where we go to keep things concealed. That's the Seven of Swords. And it feels like this is concealment and not lying, not deceit. This feels like concealment. It's like I'm not ready to say something. I'm not ready to speak my mind yet, because somebody here is really going over themselves, over details of the situation. Tell me about the Seven of Swords. We've got the Five of Swords. So they've been fighting themselves about bringing something to the surface here, moving forward. What's this? Look at all these swords. Someone is in their head. You're dealing with a Virgo or a Libra, a Gemini, or an Aquarius. I feel like I feel like something is about to move, period. I think something's about to move. I feel like something that's been stagnant or still. I think the reason it's been still is because somebody is trying to form words or trying to say something. They don't want to say the wrong thing. I think the Hermit in the Three of Swords is somebody here is trying to determine whether they are ready to release an old pain, an old hurt. I think that somebody is in Hermit energy or has been quiet with you because they're trying to heal. They're trying to find their light, it's like they're feeling around in the dark. So I feel like something is already in motion. Somebody here needs to get out of their head and out of the chaos. I'm just going to say the Five of Swords feels like chaotic thought processes or patterns. Somebody's got themselves in some sort of the Eight of Swords, and I don't think it's you. I think that you're showing up as the Nine of Pentacles, like sovereign, somebody who's in pre-empress energy, whether you're masculine or feminine, somebody who's like taking care of themselves, facing themselves, taking care of me, doing things that I want to do. And I think that somebody else here is like in swords, like all in their head, fighting themselves about what they're going to do next, like what their next move is. Tell me what this is. We've got the Ace of Wands. Somebody here, I feel, is they have heart space. They're trying to determine how they feel. They're trying to determine if you're the one, or if they're interested in just picking one. It feels like somebody's very attracted to you or very excited with the prospect of picking one person, one heart space, one cup from all of the other opportunities that they have. Spoiled for choice, right? So it feels like somebody has a choice of a lot of other people. And it's not to say that you're just one of many options. I feel like this person has the most attraction to you. They're most excited when they see you. But I feel like you're sort of acting in a sort of a detached, aloof way, which is good. I don't think it's bad. I feel like you're waiting for somebody, not waiting, understand, but I feel like somebody's about to make a decision about you and to pursue you. There's a plan going on. So the illusion is that somebody is quiet because they don't care, but they're really stuck in their head because they don't know what to say. They don't want to get their heart broken, but they also don't want to break their own heart, but they want to release themselves from hermit energy. The King of Wands has the controlled burn, right? I know where to put my passion. I can reel in my passions. My passions don't rule me. I have wisdom and I rule my own passions. So 2 Wands for me is being at the crossroads of something. The crossroads is somebody is about to break through the illusion that they ever wanted anyone else. The 4 of Pentacles, but they stayed quiet about it. Why did they stay quiet about it, Sag? Because they couldn't make a decision. Look at all these swords. Look, if you're not dealing with someone who's a Virgo or a fire sign, I'll be surprised. Or Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Look at all these swords here. Somebody's an overthinker, whoever they are. They're overthinking everything. They've not said anything. This is the kind of person who doesn't just flirt for no reason, who doesn't just do things for random reasons. This is a person who makes a decision. I'm going to do it. It sounds like Emperor energy. Somebody's been quietly observing you and wondering, am I going to break my own heart if I move towards Sag and ask them if they want to go out? Or tell this person I'm really attracted to them. Tell me what this outcome is here for Sag. We've got the Ace of Swords. There's about to be a conversation, Sag. We've got the 4 of Wands. Somebody wants to take this to the next level or wants to stabilize through conversation, wants to stabilize, or how can I say? Yeah, celebration. It's like, you might be at a celebration when you see them. You could be at somebody's house, but it feels like we're having the conversation about the next level. So if this is a person who you thought wasn't playing with you, like wasn't dealing with you or talking to you because they weren't interested, that's not the case. That's the illusion, actually. This person is actually really attracted to you and is about to pursue you. And I don't think that you understand that, because I feel like you felt that this person wasn't interested, and so maybe you've already put up your walls. This person's about to stand up for themselves and actually speak out loud. They're about to tell you exactly what's been going on here. Ace, 2, 3. We don't have the 4. Got the 7. Got the 5, 6. Gosh, we almost got all the swords out here. What's going on? Somebody's really struggling with what to do. Like, they're somebody who probably has their moon in air, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They could be a sun, of course, but it does feel like it's moon or sun energy to me. We have the star energy. We have the Knight of Wands and the Devil. So here's the conundrum. This person thinks about you. They think about you at night. I'm just saying the Devil and the Knight of Wands is here, so you know what kind of thoughts they are. Somebody is thinking about you at night. The star is here. They are hopeful that if they should pursue you, if they decide to take a brave stance and pursue you, that this is going to work out for them. I feel like they don't want you to think that the only reason they're pursuing you is for passion. That's not what's happening here. Although this person is very attracted to you, what they want is they want actual wish fulfillment. They see you as wish fulfillment. I think that they're worried that they feel like you think the only thing they want is passion. And that's not the truth. But they've been so in their head about it. So I don't know what went on here, Sag. But the moment of alchemy is coming here. As we said, Sag, and I pulled the Sagittarius card from the bottom of the deck. Ooh, boy, look at that. The moment of alchemy is coming, friend. And it's coming right at you. And it's coming fast with a lot of words. Who's the intellectual that you've attracted here? It might be a Libra or a Gemini or an Aquarius. I really do believe it is. It feels, Sag, that somebody here is just going to say it. The Two of Swords, like when the swords are up, it's like, I got something to say. You need to sit down and listen to me. I got something to say. Someone's going to be very truthful and honest, almost to a point of cringe, but whatever they say is going to change everything between you and them. Look, there's the King of Cups. Maybe you're dealing with someone who is also a Sag, but also maybe somebody who's been hiding their feelings, or maybe they are a Scorpio, Pisces, or a Cancer. These are very interesting readings this week. We've got Gemini. We've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We'll just call it because there's like mostly swords here. We've got Piscean energy. So somebody is worried that they're just like falling in love with potential, or that maybe this is an illusion. You really don't have feelings for them. We have Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. We have Aquarius. They're trying to intellectualize the hope, and Virgo energy. All right. Well, tell me what that's all about. Very interesting. All right, Cappies. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Capricorn. Tell me about the Earth cousins. Capricorn, this reading's for the next 7 days, and it's not just for Capricorn suns. It is also for Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. So I could be talking about different energies, because this is not just a Capricorn sun reading. Tell me about Cappies. It's coming up in the next 7 days. We've got the Two of Swords. Decision time. Oh, I think that you've been observing someone, something, a situation, collecting data, collecting information in order to be able to make some sort of decision. Ace of Swords. Lots of swords. You could be dealing with someone who's Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, or maybe you are a Capricorn with an Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising, Venus or Jupiter, right? It does feel like these are pretty heavy energies. Like it feels like the decision-making process is coming from observation, and it's giving you clarity about the decision you're about to make. So that does feel like maybe you are a Capricorn Aquarius cusp. You're very intellectual. If this isn't the feelings and thoughts of someone else who is a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. The Page of Wands. Somebody has been watching. Look. So either you've been watching somebody or somebody's been watching you. It feels like observation. So, I mean, it could be, you could be stalking them on the internet. It could be that, but I feel like it's through observation, which means a friend group, or maybe in the workplace, or it feels like it could be any other place, right? It doesn't just have to be snooping online, but it does feel like you're gathering information because you're about to possibly step forward and make some sort of decision about something, take a chance, or you're very excited about what you're seeing or what you're intellectualizing. It's all contributing to this decision. Tell me about this Two of Swords. Oh boy. The Wheel of Fortune's here too. Capricorn. What's going on? 7 of Cups. You're picking one out of the bunch. What's this? The Devil energy. So this is something you've been thinking about on a loop, or someone has been thinking on a loop about you. The decision is, I'm going to say that the universe already knows what your decision is going to be and backs you up. I'm going to say you're about to make the right decision. When the Wheel of Fortune shows up, of course, it always depends on the cards that are around it, but when the Wheel of Fortune shows up with things like the 7 of Cups, it feels like it was an illusion, but now in this particular depiction, I've made a decision. Even though I had a lot of opportunities to look through, I choose you. So either someone's choosing you or you're choosing someone else. I feel like there is either you've been thinking about someone else on a loop or they're thinking about you on a loop. I feel like this is a destined, I think we're talking about a destined connection with all these thoughts about here. It feels like there's 2, 3, 4 swords. Somebody's become very clear about what they want. So either you're about to communicate with someone or someone's about to communicate that with you. But I want to say that it almost feels like a spider said the spider to the fly. It's like you've entranced someone. I want to say that they're stuck to you now. It feels like somebody here is thinking about you on a loop, and yes, thinking about you on a loop. Oh, look at that. The sun is here. They have very positive feelings and thoughts about you. So they don't feel stuck in a way where they wish they could stop. I think that they really like thinking about you. I think that you have given this person a breakthrough that life can be exciting. That life with you is exciting. And I think that they really love that. I think we're talking about a destined connection, because either someone is about to choose you or you've already chosen someone else. Out of all of the options and opportunities you had for heart space availability, I think that you're going with the destined connection. I think you're listening, or someone else is listening to the universe, through the universe. We've got the 6 of Wands. Something's about to be very exciting here. The Queen of Pentacles, there you are. I feel like you are a person who grounds another. We could be talking about someone who's in Leo energy, someone who is usually in air energy. So if they're not a Libra, Gemini, or an Aquarius, they're probably always in their head, an overthinker, always in their mind. The 6 of Wands being here, I feel like you're a person who really makes them feel like they've got all of your attention. Like you're very attentive, because that's who the Queen of Pentacles is very doting and kind and grounded. I think you ground somebody here who's probably, earth and air, right? I think you bring them back down to the ground. I think you ground somebody here. And I think that they can't stop thinking about how good they feel when they're with you. Got the Hierophant in the reverse. So I think that there is a bit of a conundrum here. I think you're dealing with someone who is possibly not yet divorced or who has been divorced. And maybe you're the person that they've dated, the first person that they've dated outside of their divorce, Capricorn. Or, yeah, I feel like maybe you haven't yet dated outside of your divorce. I feel like there is a non-traditional type situation here. And when I say non-traditional type situation, I feel like somebody here, I feel like you've never felt as grounded as you do as, okay, I'm talking about someone who's a cross-watcher, I think. And I don't normally read that way, like cross-watcher point of view, but I feel like somebody who's a cross-watcher here is like Capricorn makes me feel so grounded that I feel like nothing can go wrong. This person gives me all of their attention. They give me all of their warmth, all of their kindness. They make me feel happy. But I feel like for you, cross-watcher, that it's probably after a divorce. That this is either you're not yet divorced or this is after a divorce. And you didn't think you'd ever love again. That's what this feels like if you're watching in on a Capricorn. If you are the Capricorn, I feel like you are in some sort of a non-traditional feeling about someone, which means that maybe they still are married, but separated, not yet divorced. It feels like that you really have a lot of feelings for this person, like breakthrough feelings, excitement about the future. You feel like things are going really well. I feel like you do love to dote on this person, take care of them. I feel like this is through a lot of observation. If I'm reading from your point of view, Capricorn, that you've observed a lot and you're about to make a decision through clarity about how you want to move forward from here. And I think how you want to move forward is into the future, even though this person may not quite be divorced yet, or maybe it's just going to have to be a non-traditional relationship for a while this person is separated until their divorce comes through. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the King of Wands. We've got the Five of Swords. And we've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. Yes, it does feel to me like somebody is maybe in separation and not yet divorced. And so there's other things at play. Maybe it gets in the way of how you two spend time together. The Five of Swords is here. I feel like you're fighting your mind about passion. Like somebody here is like, well, this person's still married. Passion can't happen yet. It feels, although that it's a non-traditional, or going to move into a non-traditional thing. So I'm going to say that maybe passion might be on the table, but I'm going to say that it feels like somebody here is pursuing you hard. But I feel like the Five of Swords is like, but I've never dealt with somebody who's not yet divorced. Like it feels like there's something that is non-traditional about the situation. But the Four of Wands in the reverse is telling me that this person that you're saying in your mind, well, this person no longer is with that person. They've moved out. They're, it's over. And if Four of Wands in the reverse is like the stability is gone. It feels like you're trying to observe the situation from a distance and do the right thing. Around the corner, we have Justice in the reverse. Yeah, see, I feel like this person can't totally commit to you, or there are times when they're holding back or can't be with you because they're probably finishing up business elsewhere. Yes, I think you spend a lot of time alone or by yourself because there's no justice at this time. This person has to hold back, and that there is times when you're going to have to be without them. The thing is that the Queen of Pentacles isn't dependent on anybody. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who is sovereign, right? Is the pre-empress energy. I can take care of myself. Don't worry about me. But I think that there still is this Two of Cups energy. So I feel like you're starting to fall in love with this person. And this is very outside of your comfort zone because you know what comes next is passion. And yep, that's what's coming next. If you weren't aware, I'll just clue you in right now. Got the Fool card and the Ace of Wands. That's what's coming next. So I feel like this is somebody here that you've already decided on, but it's a weird situation because they're not single yet, but they're separated, but they're not yet divorced, but they have obligations, maybe with children, right? Or a child because of the Page of Wands. It feels like everything is moving forward and this is a destined connection, but everything is still weird and up in the air. That's what it feels like here. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Libra, Leo, Aries, Capricorn again, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Sagittarian energy. We also have Cancer energy on the bottom of the deck. All right, Aquarius. This is the last read of Aquarius season. I think it is still Aquarius season as I do this. Yep, it is. Yeah, you'll be getting it. It'll be uploaded and you'll be able to see it in Pisces season. But this is the last reading before the end of Aquarius season. Tell me about Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Thank you for the beautiful season, Aquarius. Happy birthday, friends. I hope it was lovely for you. Tell me about Aquarius. Next 7 days, we've got the Hanged Man. You're stuck here about something that's going on here, trying to get a perspective about what to say. or how to move forward or how to charge in. The Six of Pentacles is in the reverse. Somebody's breadcrumbing you with their words. It feels like somebody is not fully giving you their attention. And you're trying to look at it with perspective, but I feel like there is this Knight of Swords energy underneath the surface, like, if you don't say something to me, I'm probably going to show up at your door. Like, it feels like somebody's ignoring you or not giving you their attention, or you're trying to get their attention because you've got something to say. But I think right now you're in the pause. I think as I do this right now, you're in a pause, you're holding back, you're trying to get perspective or see something from their side or from a different point of view. I feel like this it's about getting discipline of your thought pattern. I'm going to say, first of all, it does feel like there is something brewing under the surface that's a little bit agitating or irritating. I'll tell you what I just saw. Charlie is my guide and shows me things in clairvoyancy. I just saw someone with one of those brushes, like that's getting inside cleaning a bottle with a long neck. So it feels like it's like an irritating job, but you know you got to get in there with the brush and you got to fix it. You got to clean it or you get sick. Like, it feels like it's like a tedious job. It's going to require discipline or waiting. It feels like you're wanting to move forward right now, but somebody here is breadcrumbing you or not giving you attention. Maybe they're not answering your texts or not answering your emails. And it feels like everything right now is in a pause. Tell me about this Hanged Man. We've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. And we've got the Two of Cups. I feel like you have nostalgia with this person, or you've known them for a while. And if you've known them for a while, it feels like a long while. It feels like there is somebody here who has their back to you. And I feel like you have feelings for this person. And if it's not feelings, like if it's not romantic feelings, it feels like the Two of Cups means, you know, we've shared some intimacy, right? And intimacy is not what goes on between the sheets, right? Intimacy is what goes on back and forth. Like, you know about my family. I've told you about my hardships. Like, it feels like there's been some intimate conversation that has gone on here. So it feels like you have maybe a long history with this person. Maybe you've been single for a very long time and this is the person you confide in. It feels as though there is some sort of perspective that you've come to. It feels like somebody here is not talking to you, not acknowledging you, or is very slow to get back to you, and it's kind of irritating you. Tell me more about this. It feels like there's something irritating you under the surface. We've got the Nine of Swords. Why is it making you worry? The Five of Pentacles. Because it's making you feel in lack. Why isn't this person moving forward? I feel like the Five of Pentacles is making you second guess everything about this connection, whether it's friendship or whether it's love. It's making you second guess everything. I thought we were moving forward, and then all of a sudden somebody's like, maybe they're not ghosting you, but I think that maybe they were answering you back and forth, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And maybe they're only answering you every third or fourth text, every 3 or 4 days. It feels like you have a worry about being left on the outside looking in. This feels like a bit of a wound. It feels like a bit of a rejection wound. And so you automatically go to catastrophic. You automatically go to, well, they don't want me. They don't see my value. They don't see my worth. There's no way this is going to be able to move forward. Tell me about this. The Knight of Wands. Yeah. So I feel like this is someone that you've already shared some passionate times with. This does feel romantic to me all of a sudden. It feels like we've moved forward with passionate moments here, and now I feel like I shouldn't have done that. It feels like somebody here is possibly ghosting you or ignoring you, or maybe you're doing it to someone else. I'm just saying, you take it whatever way you want it. It feels like somebody here has stuffed their feelings down and is not showing their feelings, and they're just in this place of you want to talk or they want to talk. Whatever the Knight of Swords is, I think it's your energy. I feel like somebody wants to talk and say something, but the other person is keeping someone at bay. And I don't think you like it. I think this is on the heels of possibly passionate nights. We decided to move forward with the passionate nights, and now all of a sudden you're ghosting me, or all of a sudden you're not paying attention to me, and I don't have a perspective as to why. We have the Three of Wands, we have the Devil energy, and we have the Five of Swords. I think that you sit up late at night overthinking everything, saying, if I ever see that person again, I'm going to give them everything I've got, both barrels. It feels like the future is what you're facing, but it also feels like you feel still trapped in the mind about this whole situation. I feel like, I don't know which way this is going. I don't know why I can't figure it out. You could be dealing with a Pisces, but that also could be intuition. Your intuition is telling you something that's making you worry. That maybe I'm telling you that feelings are under the surface, but you're like, nah, I've been through this before. This feels like something different. I need to speak to this person, but they keep breadcrumbing me and not giving me their energy. It feels like you can't get out of this negative mindset here about what's going on, what might go on in the future. But I also feel like this Five of Swords and the Devil energy is giving me a little bit of, I'm trapped in my mind and I'm angry about it. It's pissing me off that I had a plan for the future and then all of a sudden this person is not paying attention to me, is trying to avoid me. Around the corner, we've got the Star. There's your energy. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. You were hoping for stability with this person. In fact, you were sort of ramping up to courage, trying to find the courage to say something. Ooh, you're coming up with the King of Swords, though. I think you're going to say something. I think you're just finding the courage to say it. But I feel like what you're doing is you're finding the courage to say, look, I was hopeful that things were going to stabilize, that things were going to work out. Like, what is going on here? I feel like you're about to get some answers, even if you've got to force your way in, which means that you might just get on your horse and go to their door. Just looking at the Knight of Swords. I'm sure you don't ride on a horse. It's not the 1800s. But the Knight of Swords is telling me that I feel like you are about to give somebody your thoughts. And I feel like it's in an effort to stabilize things between you and them, that you really are trying to find the courage to go in a healing way. But I don't know if all bets are off, friend. I feel like you're pissed about something. This has happened to you before. I feel like this Eight of Swords and Judgment card is saying, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen again. The Death card is here. And it feels like you feel something has ended, that you put in all of your effort, time, and energy. You started looking into the future, and then all of a sudden, nothing. You feel ghosted. And I'm just going to say, I don't feel like they're ghosting you. I feel like they're avoiding you. It's different. Because Chariot's here. It feels like avoidant energy. Somebody's avoiding having the conversation, or somebody's having the hangover of, we shouldn't have done that last night, or it feels like a vulnerability hangover. If it's on your part, maybe you showed too many of your feelings and now you've got them all tucked under the surface. I don't know. I don't know who this is about. You tell me. Judgment card is here with the Eight of Swords, though. Somebody's now in their head about the decision that they made. And so I feel like you've been in this place before where, I shouldn't have done that. It was out of passion. I shouldn't have done that. That's what it feels like. Either they're thinking that or you are. We've got Sagittarian energy here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We've got Leo and Taurus, Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Aries. We've got Capricorn, Gemini, Pisces, Cancer. All right. And as you're seeing this, Pisces, as it's being uploaded late in the night, by the time you see this, it'll probably already be Pisces season. How are you, Pisces? Thank you so much for being here and watching. Appreciate you. My water family, my two fishes friends. We are in Pisces season. Let's find out what's going on for Pisces in the next 7 days. Remember, this is not only a reading for Pisces Sun, it's for Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter as well. Let's find out what's going on for Pisces. We've got the Queen of Wands. What's this? We've got the Page of Cups. In the reverse, though, I feel like something's hiding under the surface. Like, this is telling me like somebody's about to make a bold move and you don't know about it. You're about to be surprised by something that hasn't happened yet. Ace of Cups. Somebody's about to talk about their feelings or how they feel about something. The Hermit energy. Someone who's been very quiet with you. It does feel like somebody here is about to make a bold move. Somebody you wouldn't expect to make a bold move. This is somebody who I feel is either in their water energy, so Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Somebody who doesn't readily bring their feelings to the surface. It does feel like probably Cancer or Scorpio. Could be Virgo energy as well, but it feels like somebody here that has been silent or quiet with you is about to make some sort of a really big move that is going to shock you or surprise you. And I think the Ace of Cups tells me that it is regarding some sort of how they've been carrying their feelings for you without saying anything. The Queen of Wands tells me that you are in the most attractive energy that you've been in, whether you are the man, the woman, the feminine or the masculine leaning energy, that you've attracted this. You've attracted this person. And it feels like somebody here has been quiet because they're trying to figure out if they're enough. Do they have enough? Are they spiritual enough? Because we have the water cards here, it almost feels like somebody is like, I haven't been listening to my intuition. I really got to go in and listen to my intuition here. And I think it's somebody else who I feel belongs to this energy. Now, they don't have to be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, but they're ready to make a bold move that you don't see coming here. There's a Seven of Cups. Because there's illusion energy here or something that is unclear. The Nine of Wands is here and the Two of Swords. So it does feel like something is unclear here. Yeah, unclear, an illusion. And I think you've already made your decision that somebody here has released the situation because they've been silent. We've got the Queen of Wands who carries a wand, and then we've got the 9 wands. That's 10 altogether. I feel like you've already released the situation and decided to block this person. Like maybe you've already blocked them. You've made your decision that this is over. I'm not waiting. If you can't tell me how you feel, then that's fine. I don't really care. Because I feel like this person is silent. But I'm going to tell you right now that they're not silent because they're not interested. They're not silent because they're trying to figure out how they feel about the situation. Because it feels like somebody here is making a really, really important situation or an important decision. And they're making it feels like this is somebody who's been hurt before significantly, carries trauma possibly, but also is tired, like they're in this sort of decision fatigue energy. I'm tired of trying to make all the right decisions and I make the wrong decisions. So I feel like some of you could have blocked this person already. We've got the 8 of Wands. Something's about to move forward here. Somebody's about to charge in and to try and stabilize the situation. It feels like somebody here wants to approach you in a very confident manner. Which means that they might do this sort of looking practical on the surface, but I feel like this person's feeling a lot of passion underneath. I feel like they have been thinking about what to say. The Knight of Swords is the one that just sort of kicks open the door and throws on the lights and says, I'm here now, everybody sit down and listen. I feel like this person is really nervous, that they think that they might get their heart broken. 2 swords and 1 in the hand of the Knight is 3. They're trying to move forward or present themselves as being very confident, in control. I'm good on my own. I don't really need this. But it feels like there is somebody here who wants to move this whole thing forward. Got the 2 of Wands. They've been planning this for a while. So that's where the silence is coming from. It's the planning phase. Tell me about this Page of Cups here. Staring at me. We've got the World card in the reverse. We've got the 9 of Cups in the reverse. Excuse me, and the 2 of Cups. Pardon me. The Two of Cups is telling me that I feel like you two have already shared some sort of intimate conversations or moments, so you're getting closer and closer to each other. Doesn't mean like intimacy is different than being between the sheets, right? It feels like we have deepened our connection already, but it feels like now you feel like in disillusionment because there's unfinished business. It feels like somebody went straight into hermit energy, and you're like, well, where are they now? So I feel like you decided to release it or let it go. You blocked the person. Maybe some of you did, maybe some of you didn't. But I feel like there's no understanding of what went on here. But I feel like with the Queen of Wands here, it tells me that you just took the liberty to go ahead and block this person. I'm just not dealing with your bullshit. I don't have time to deal with people who are undecided about me. So I feel like it left a door open. I feel like the World card being in the reverse tells me that there is unfinished business. And that's why the Page of Cups is in the reverse. Because it's telling me here that somebody is about to surprise you about their heart space energy. And I think that they just needed time to think before they moved forward. They needed time to think it all out. We've got 8 and 2 wands here, which is 10 wands, which is somebody who wanted to release the pressure of, it feels like they had to collect themselves, I'm going to say, with the 9 of Pentacles. They had to collect themselves and make a plan about what to say. And I think that you took that as silence, so maybe you've already blocked them. It may have been a little bit premature. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Two of Swords. No, sorry, the Page of Swords. We've got the Hanged Man. Oh, this person's still watching you. So even if you block them, they've got another ID they're watching you with. Yeah, they're watching you. And I think they're feeling terrible. If you have blocked them, I think that this person is feeling terrible. Absolutely terrible. Because they are watching you live your life, do your thing. I think that you're over it, honestly, because the 10 wands has shown up here twice. I think that you've released it already, but I feel like this person is realizing what they've lost. Like it feels like they feel like they've lost. They got their perspective on, oh crap, I just let go of the best thing ever. What's around the corner? We've got the King of Cups. Wow. The Judgment card, okay, and the Knight of Wands, okay. So there could have been a passionate moment between you two. Maybe you shared a kiss or maybe something more, but it feels like somebody here is going to revisit this. So if this person is somebody who is keeping their feelings under the surface, maybe there's someone who treated you very cold. Maybe that's why you blocked them, because the King of Cups is here and keeping everything under the surface is very stoic. They didn't show you any feeling on the surface. Maybe you did share a kiss. Maybe you did have a passionate evening with them and then nothing. So I feel like this person is probably going to approach you again. If they're in the vicinity or online or whatever, and they have the ability to approach you again, I think that they will. What comes from that? 10 of Cups. I feel like you're like, oh, okay, well, you didn't say, look, I just need time by myself to think about what's going on here. This person didn't say anything. I feel like they just floated away, went into hermit energy, but I feel like they're feeling all sorts of really deep feelings about you, and you're about to be surprised because the next time they see you, or maybe they show up as another ID in your DMs, or maybe you're going somewhere where this person usually is, it feels like that this person is going to approach you immediately and say, look, that's not what's going on here. I didn't detach from you because I wasn't interested. Page of Coins, and it begins again. It feels like this 10 of Cups is something like, it feels like misunderstanding energy. It feels like that this, the Queen of Swords is somebody who's very clear about the Page of Pentacles. You were giving me so little that I just couldn't, the Queen of Swords knows her worth, right? So I'm like, I know my worth. And if somebody's going to give me Page of Coins energy, then I know you're a page and I'm a queen, and that's a mismatch. Sorry, fellow, or sorry, friend, sorry, ma'am. And somebody cut somebody out. But I really think that that this faith energy here, that's the energy of the Hierophant. I think that they were just slow to move. They're very hopeful, but very slow to move. Oh, they see your worth. See? The Empress, they see your worth. This person you're dealing with could be someone who is Pisces, possibly Cancer, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, but that could just say that they're taking their time. We've got Virgo energy here. We've got Virgo and Pisces, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy here, Aries, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy. Yeah, Libra. Sorry, not Libra, but Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you so much for coming here and watching. I do appreciate you, Pisces. We'll get you with the weeklies. And yeah, happy birthday, friends, if you're right on the cusp. Take care. Love you. Bye.